And now I already have some data in my L1 and L2, so I'm going to clear that out. So I'm going to move my cursor up to the title, press clear, and then the down button. That clears everything out. And then I'm just going to start typing in my data exactly as it appears. Oops. Feel bad for that person with the 85-minute commute. Ay caramba. That's me on a bad day. Okay. So I've gone ahead and entered all my data into my calculator. After that, I'm going to exit back out to the main menu. So second in mode. And then I'm going to press that stat button again. But this time I'm going to go over to the calc menu. And I'm going to pick one variable stats. So that's the first one. So because this was raw data, I'm never going to have a frequency list to go with it. Although if you're doing something like the mean in the previous on your activity, you could have made a list with your mid-order values in the frequency list in L1 and L2 and then use the frequency list there. I think we'll do an example of that here in a minute. And I'm just going to hit calculate. Blammo! All this stuff pops out. Notice here, X bar, that's the mean. But if I keep scrolling down, it gives me the first quartile, the median, the second, or the third quartile, the maximum, the minimum, that's Q0 and that's Q4, remember from last time? So there it goes, spits it right out at me. I didn't have to do anything, I just had to type in the data and ask it to do it. What's up, Colin?
I got an error.
What does the error say?
Invalid dimension.
Okay, so you probably didn't use the same list that you typed your data in. So when you press the stat button and you press enter on the, is yours L1 or did you type your data into a different L?
L6.
Okay, so when you do one variable stat, you have to make sure it's L6 there.
Why is that L6?
I don't know. We can look at it in a after class. 22.5. Yep. Which is, the calculator really makes this pretty easy. Remember the mean. So that's the symbol we use is that X with a bar over top of it. So again, we just add up all our observations and divide by the number of observations. So the fancy way of writing this looks like this, where Fi is the frequency for observation Xi. So if we take the same thing and we make like a frequency table here. Oh, I guess we don't have to. We can just leave it the way it is. So we did, again, when I did this on the calculator a moment ago, spits out my mean right there for me, right? You guys see that? Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Let's take a look at a chart. We're given a chart and a frequency table. So we have this. Let's do this one. Let's say we want to find the mean and the median for this. So I'm going to go and I'm press stat, edit. Into L1, I'm going to type the number of tardies. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And into L2, I'm going to type the frequencies. So 5, 3, 4, 2, 0, 3. So I've just typed in the table exactly like it looks. And exit out of here, go back to stat, over to calc, pick one variable stats. My values are in L1, the observations are in L1. The frequencies I put into L2, so I'm going to put something in for the frequency list because I have a frequency table, and then hit calculate, blammo, X bar, that spits out my mean. If I scroll down, if I wanted my median, that's going to be 2. The calculator does all the counting for me, all the calculation for me. I just got to know how to ask it to do that for me, which is super cool. What if instead of giving my frequency table has a class associated with it rather than just a single value? What do? We use a mid-interval value. So if we're looking at like the number of shoes, so I'll calculate the mid-interval value. So those would be like my L1, and the frequency would be my L2. So if I go ahead and do that, again, we'll go stat, edit, clear out what I had before. So my mid-interval values are my L1s. Those are my observations. I feel really bad for the people that have like 32 pairs of shoes. Your life is so messy. Like, I don't even know that I could find a pair of shoes if I had 32 pairs of shoes. I'd hope that I was like a professional decathlete or something, where it's like my sporting event that I participate in requires like 8 different pairs of shoes. So I entered everything into L1 and L2. Again, the observations in L1 and the frequencies in L2. So I do stat, calc, one variable stats, L1 for my observations, L2 for my frequencies, hit calculate, and blammo. Mean spit right out at me. If I wanted the median, I just scroll down, blammo, right there. Super nice, right? Boy, Mr. Kulik, this calculator thing is like really helpful. Yeah, the calculator is a powerful tool. Okay, now this just walks through how to do these on the calculator, which we did. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Another measurement of center, the third one that we talked about median, the middle value, the mean, like the average value. The last one is the mode. That's the most frequently occurring value. So to find that mode, we just find the thing that has the most commonly occurring. The mode does not have to be unique. So if you have like 2 numbers that are tied for use the most, both of them would be the mode. If you are talking about grouped data, so if you have like 0 to 2 and then you have a frequency attached to it, if you're talking about a mode for something like that, you talk about a modal class, where the most frequently occurring class then would be kind of your mode. You call that a modal class. But basically all we're doing is counting here. So we have our choice between 3 ways of measuring center. So the question is, which one should I use, right? The median is typically best when describing a skewed distribution, or a distribution that has serious outliers to it, because the outlier or the skew doesn't affect the median as strongly, because the actual value of the outlier doesn't matter, right? If we're just looking for the middle number, it doesn't matter that this one is like 5 times as big as everything else. It's just one number off to the end. Usually we use mean for symmetric distributions. So if they're fairly symmetric looking, then a mean will be a great representation. And the mode is often helpful when you're dealing with qualitative data. So if we're talking about like, what's the class's favorite color? We can't take an average of colors or take the median of colors. You'd probably just take the one that's most frequently voted on, right? So purple, obviously, in this group. Does everybody feel okay with that? One thing to note, if you have a perfectly symmetric distribution, the mean, median, and mode are going to be the same value. If you have a skewed distribution, the mean will be to the right of the median. Everybody's okay with that idea? It'll be pulled towards the skew, whichever way the skew goes. The mean will be pulled towards that. The median less so, the mode not at all. The mode doesn't get pulled at all by a skew because it's the most frequently occurring value. Again, it's not going to change. So that's the end of 7.3 part 1. I'm not going to try to crank through anything else. We'll do the 7.3 part 1 in-class examples. Next time we'll start with those. Have your calculators ready because it's going to be like, here's the data set, find the mean kind of questions. And then also on next class, we'll do that, and then we'll do the other half of 7.3. Expect on next week, we'll have another activity. We still got to do the quiz. Probably do quiz on Monday. No, I got to look. Maybe we'll do the... We don't have class Monday?
Well, we have school.
Why don't we have class?
Oh, we would have class Monday. Today's Tuesday. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do the activity Monday. We'll do the quiz Tuesday, and probably test Friday. That's probably what we're looking at. I want to do the activity before the stuff because I think they really help. Like, get your hands dirty and make sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So let's do it in that order. I know it's kind of dumb to do quiz then test, but it just kind of is what it is, you know? No. Wednesday. Activity, quiz, test will be the order of days that week.